Welcome to episode 10 of the Division 1 MPNFL footy show on GameFace. The Bombers make use of the access to one of their key players, Alex Harnett, best on ground again. Mornington with a hot start against the reigning premiers, but Pines slither away after quarter time with a good win. Mornington captain Chris Baker joins us, along with their young gun on fire this year, Lockie Susevich. We look forward to having a chat to the boys from Bulldog Land. Rosebud almost spoiled the Hulkies' milestone day, but again, Sorrento find a way to get over the line. Welcome to the MPNFL GameFace footy show, Division 1. It's great to be here. Dan Lonigan with Chris Holcomb. Welcome, Holks.
I love how you did your little slither. See how the Pine slithered away from Mornington.
You like that?
I reckon it was a beauty.
Welcome, Blackers.
Yeah.
And good to have the boys from Mornington. Chris Baker, who unfortunately has got a bad knee injury. We'll get to Chris in a second. And Lockie Susevich. Thanks for coming, boys. Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having us.
Let's start with the Dogs. You were brilliant in the first quarter, 5 goals to none. Lockie, what were you thinking at quarter time? What was Goose thinking? Big chance.
We were definitely happy with our start, something we've touched base on 3 or 4 weeks ago. Just our slow starts just kept us ahead of the game, and the last couple of weeks we've really been firing with our first quarters, and definitely last week we came out firing against Pines, and our backline held up and just everything was working. We didn't try and think anything too far because we knew how good Pines are, and it just showed through the end of the game.
I think it's heaps of improvement though. The last month, you're starting to have patches of football where you're really going with teams and really pulling away. Just getting that over 4 quarters. But something's been different. Something's clicked a little bit the last 4 weeks.
We had a really good 4-quarter performance against the Bombers.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think our first 4 games we've been blown out of the park, and that was purely just from slow starts. The other 3 quarters were all even throughout the game. So that's one thing we've definitely cleaned up. And just Goosey's touched on a few things, cleaning up our ball efficiency.
And Shane Hockey played on the weekend?
Yeah, he was massive.
Just a love child.
It's just good to have someone who he's...
Hey? I was there.
Oh, okay.
I was there. I watched. I love Hawks. He's a champion.
It's just good to have someone of his calibre.
Yeah.
He's such a calibre player, and just to have him in our midfield just created like a lot of positivity around the good.
Such a good bloke too.
Yeah, he's good. He's a shut.
The second half, and from quarter time onwards, really, it was 19 goals to 6. That would have been hard. Was it just their class that got on top?
Yeah, we spoke to a few Pines players after the game, and we missed a few opportunities in that second, and if we had to capitalise on those, the game would have, they said, turned out very differently. So just a few things we need to fix up, and our slow starts or 10-minute brain fades is what's getting us.
Hey Dan, what about Perry Lewis Smith?
Outstanding. Kicked 5. He was brilliant again. Now, we were lucky enough on Sunday, Crackers Keenan's
good mate,
without being a big noter, but a great mate of mine, because I've called a lot of football with him at the ABC and NIRS over the years, and he was down there for Port Melbourne for the VFL match after the curtain raiser between Frankston Bombers and Mount Eliza, and he came up and had a chat to us, and he plays with Port Melbourne. He's played a few games so far, and we asked him how far away Perry was from getting another game for the Borough in the second half of the season. We're going pretty well in the VFL at the moment.
I'm down here, down at Frankston, and when we used to come down here, Azzy and myself have been coming here for 13 years, they have the drum.
That's right.
And then the bugle.
Yep.
Then they have personal abuse of
Yeah.
of Ash and
The
myself.
boys on the hill.
I
yeah.
always find out my mum and dad never got married down here.
Why?
And after abusing you all day, you go into the social club, they want to buy you a beer. So they're good people.
They do.
We're over the other side. We've lost some of the characters, you know.
Yeah,
the,
there was some great
the
characters
culture.
years ago. Yeah.
But, it's a great ground. It's a long ground, but it's a very, very good surface, and we like coming down here. We've always had trouble, Port Melbourne, coming down here in the past.
Now, one of the young guys who plays in this league, in the MPNFL, is Perry Lewis Smith from the Pines. He's played a couple of games. He kicked 5 yesterday for the Pines. How close is he, Crackers, to a recall?
He was in our squad on Friday morning.
Yeah.
Very, very close. He plays a wing for us, Perry. Tough little hound. He doesn't mind. He's tough as goat. He has a crack. Got a robber's head, but that's all right. Robber's dog head, but that's all right.
Well, Crackers, great to catch up. Enjoy the footy today. You've got a beautiful day for it, and hopefully Port Melbourne keep going. But Frankston, well, they're looking for a win.
Dan,
and
when things are glum, there's worse to come.
Thank you, Crackers. I've heard that line many times. One of the all-time greats, Peter Crackers Keenan, joining us as part of the coaching crew at Port Melbourne, and he does a wonderful job with Gary Ayres, and he has been a legend of the media for a long, long time. And it's great to have him with us on GameFace. Wonderful to catch up with one of the legends legends, Peter Crackers Keenan, as
He
he said.
sounds like a bit of a character.
Oh, he's a beauty, Black.
Yeah.
He attended the Hall of Fame night, and actually just before the interview, Brad Hardy rang, and there was a little bit of a piece in the newspaper about who was best on ground of the old guys, and it's the same two who are 3 and 2, Barry Round and Terry Danaher. But what happens is, because they're in the 200 club, they get the keys to close up the bar, and they get to close up the bar every year. And Brad Hardy got the one vote after being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Crackers and another great mate of ours, Graham Smokey Dawson, one of the legendary commentators, were on his table. But Crackers has been with Port now for 10 years.
Did I just hear in that segment before you said you don't like to name drop? He's the worst name drop I've ever heard. He dropped about 6.
I don't like to name drop much. I've had a good experience. Now, talking of terrific people, Chris Baker's the staff of the Mornington Footy Club. Bad injury. Are you gone for the year, Chris?
Yeah, done for the year, unfortunately, but hopefully back start of next year, ready to go.
How did you do the injury? Was it innocuous like most knee injuries?
Yeah, I was just going up to take a mark, and just before I took off, just felt it snap, pop.
And the
It's
kneecap
amazing,
popped
isn't it?
up high on the leg, didn't it?
Yeah.
Popped right out.
Not as much as you've been saying, but
Oh,
it did
mate,
pop up. It did pop up a
So,
fair
it was
bit.
right up
so-
near the groin area.
You haven't had a good run with injuries as a club, have you?
Nah,
Over the
not-
last 2 years?
Nah, last couple of years. But even that one day, like I did my knee, Ryan Smith did his ankle, I think Dan Verker did his ankle, so
It's a big ankle on
How
that.
does Goose handle the injuries? I mean, at the end of the day, injuries are injuries,
Ice.
but not shut up. Just how does he handle it emotionally? Because we know he's a pretty emotional coach. He's a great man to have around the
Yeah.
league, and
No,
he's been
he's-
involved in the footy club for a long time.
no, he's good, and he's been good to me because he got his hip done pretty much the same week I got my knee done, so we were hopping around together at training. But yeah, he's just always, that next player up, so he's all good with it.
How frustrated are you, Chris? You can't be out there helping the boys, knowing you're now trying to avoid relegation, which
Yeah, it's
will,
hard.
will hurt the club,
Yeah.
won't it, if it happens?
Oh, definitely. And I know for the fact none of the players wanted to go down. I don't think any club wants to go down, but yeah, we're definitely fighting to stay up. But yeah, it's been hard watching. I'm just helping out with the board now, doing the board for the twos and the seniors, so
You helping your mum in the canteen at all, mate? Or not?
no, I don't have time for that.
Oh.
Good to see her.
Can't do every
She
role.
cooked a good potato cake on the
A
weekend.
little,
I know.
a little break between the twos and the ones to go and get some food off
Yeah,
her.
do you pay? No, you wouldn't pay. No.
No.
How much are you missing the skipper, Lucky?
Heaps. The whole team is, and the whole club is. Just the impact he brings, not only on game day, but when he's actually out there, he makes such a big difference. Just his voice and his leadership just helps drive those younger players to find their feet and see football.
The dance floors too at Mornington pubs are missing him as well. Not going out there, mate.
Nah, not too much.
No.
No.
Dale Whelan, how far is he back?
No.
No.
Wheels. Jeez. That's
He
you
won't
pull him
play?
out of retirement, mate.
Next year.
Okay.
Next year.
He might.
Now, as we know, it's been a big week in footy with the Neil Danaher Foundation,
Isn't it
Motor
been
Neurone
wonderful?
Disease. Oh, been terrific. They've raised only $5 million.
Yeah.
Fight MND at the MCG on Monday. And it's wonderful that both Mornington and Pines on the weekend, they raised $9,000 for MND with the dunking machine on display at half-time of the reserves. And
That was
our man, the coach, was there. And let's have a look at how it all went down.
Paddy Swain, you've been in, you've been dunked. You must be cold.
I'm freezing. I'm absolutely freezing. I've got to go in there and coach the side now, so I want to go and get warm and get it all going.
You're a real trooper, mate, to do this with us. Behind us is Simon Goosey, the Mornington coach. Any tips for him? How does he absorb it?
No, you go numb after a bit, so that's all right. I'm numb from the waist down at the moment.
So you're dressed as Ricky Bob?
Ricky Bobby, yeah, shake and bake, shake and bake.
Why Ricky Bobby?
Because they reckon I look like him. Will Ferrell.
Oh,
Yeah.
I reckon I look.
I don't think so.
You live at the Lubu Strong.
Paddy, it's a great cause. I mean, were you asked to do this, or you just volunteered straight away?
No, asked to do it, but volunteered straight away. We obviously lost Steve Nichols, someone very near and dear to us at the footy club, and his family's still heavily involved with the footy club. So yeah, I didn't hesitate to get involved with this great cause, and hopefully we can raise as much money as we can, and so no other sort of families have to go through it.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks so much for your time. Just quickly, the team. How you travelling? A couple of losses?
Yeah, a couple of losses, but look, it's an even competition, and we're still going well. We just got to be better for longer. End of the day, yeah.
Okay. Good on you, mate. Thanks so much for your time, and go and dry up, and good luck today.
Thank you.
Well, there's still some dunking going on in the background, but I know one guy who's absolutely rapt that it's over. Simon Goosey, you did not look like you enjoyed that at all.
No, look, I'm actually coming off a chest infection, and it's bloody cold there. I think Paddy threw a couple of bags of ice in there, and it is freezing.
You've had a hip replacement because of the amount of goals you tell me you kicked in footy in years gone by. Is it dangerous doing it like that after you've had that done? It was only done last month, wasn't it?
3 weeks ago. But once they do it, they've done it. So probably the cold water does it good.
Simon, it's a great cause. Were you asked, or you just put your hand up?
I put my hand up. We'll ask. I think it's just another way to raise a little bit of money and awareness. So the clubs, both Pines and Mornington, have got right behind it. So it's been good. I think all the coaches are doing it, and all, both presidents too. So.
Quickly, I know you haven't got the runs on the board, but you are improving.
Yeah. Look, we are improving. I felt like there was a few blokes that have left, overseas, and that a few young blokes, and we've put a lot of depth into the clubs. We've got Shane Hockey, a Mornington player, coming. He's come over from Perth, and he adds a bit of experience. That's one thing we lack is a bit of experience. So he'll be a welcome addition to us today.
I really appreciate what you guys are doing. I'm sure everybody else do in the MND community as well. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, what a great day that was, and what a worthy cause it is. $9,000 raised for MND. Now, look, you've had a rumour that the Goose went down, but he wore a wetsuit.
Yeah,
He's a bit soft, isn't he, the big fella?
A few of the boys were getting changed, and he'd come in his outfit and then stripped off, and underneath it was a nice little steamer.
He played in one at Rosebud one day.
Did he?
He played in a full steamer.
Did he?
Yeah, it
Why?
was ridiculous.
Cold
Because as if he was chasing anyone out of full forward and just let everyone else run around.
What was
So
his
it's
ball
cold.
pressure like?
It was amazing. You had to see it to believe it, Dan.
He used to call on Singleton and Melton.
He tried to tell me the other day that he had a work rate, and if the GPS had been on him, he would have got 14k.
14
Yeah,
goals.
he's lying through his teeth.
Because he would have kicked 20 goals running 10 or 15 metres out the mark at his
Yes,
chest.
and
Now,
he's
I'm not having a go at him because he was a wonderful player, obviously, but the game was a bit different then, wasn't it?
It was.
Hey, and it was great for Pines, for Stevie Nichols too, because
Yeah.
last year he passed away, big cowboy, so
Yes.
it's obviously something that
Very
they
close
did.
to their heart.
Yeah, they did a day for him last year too, Dan, didn't they?
They did, and obviously it'll mean very much to them every single year because
Oh,
Cowboy was
he was a
the
wonderful.
heart and soul of that football club, wasn't he? It was
Yeah.
great that he was there when they won the premiership, and it's been pretty tough 6 to 8 months for them, but
Yeah.
they're going pretty well. Now, Chris, seeing you've had a lot of time in your hands because you're recovering from the knee injury, what do you like to do? Is there anything you like to watch on television? You still you into other
just
sports?
Bit of the NBA.
Oh, game
Oh,
5.
yeah,
They've
Game
been
5.
close. Wasn't that good to have a win?
I'd like your insight.
Who had a win, Blackers?
3-2, Golden State, didn't they? Or,
Yeah, who do you reckon was good on the night, Blackers?
oh, what's that fella from Australia? The bloke that they flew over there.
Andrew
Yeah,
Bogut?
he
Yeah,
played 30 seconds. That was
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
30
he
seconds,
sat on the
yeah.
bench.
It's what he did in that 30
Oh,
seconds.
It was gold, wasn't it? Stephen Curry, they were gone. That was
Stephen Curry. What is
Steph
going on
Curry.
with this segment?
Steph Curry, I mean,
Oh.
Steph Curry.
Yeah, 6 points down there
DeMarcus
with a
Cousins.
minute and a half to go.
Correct. Yeah, you do know you.
Yeah, I know my stuff.
Oh, come on.
Did you think, Chris, they were gone, Golden State?
Yeah, once KD went down, I thought that was it.
Yeah.
And yeah, they got back into it.
Yeah,
So hopefully they can win.
I still reckon they can win it. They'll win the next two, but I would love to have Kevin Durant back, but he's not going to be here. But anyway, we'll keep a close eye on it, and we're loving the basketball and loving all the sport that's on at the moment. If you don't love your sport, bad luck. There's nothing else on television. Now, I'll tell you what we do love. We love golf because the US Open's on this week. We also love X-Golf, boys, don't we?
We do.
Now, there was no X-Golf because of the Mornington Cup this week due to Queen's birthday, but tune in next week to see the results of round 5, thanks to our partner X-Golf, and we're talking about, of course, the MPNFL players getting involved in the X-Golf Challenge. Now, we know that X-Golf is a magnificent facility. We love being there. You can find it at 177 Mornington Tyre Road. It's open 7 days, full bar, and the number is 59750450.
We should do a show down there one night.
We should.
That'd be great.
I'd love to go down. I've never played it. I'd love to go down there and play it.
You'd be good with the sticks in your hand, wouldn't you?
Oh, hopeless. Couldn't hit it off the tee. The address again is 177, and you know that too, Holtz. Mornington Tyre Road, and the phone number is 59750450. We'll be back with more after this. Welcome back to the MPNFL Division 1 footy show. Well, the Bombers, they had the first of the curtain raiser matches, which I thought was an outstanding success at Skybus Stadium at Frankston Park on Sunday before the Frankston Dolphins took on Port Melbourne in the VFL, and it was between the Frankston Bombers and also Mount Eliza. Mount Eliza went into the game 4 wins, 4 losses, lost a number of players on the eve of the match, including Tom Small, and it was a good result for him because he played in the under-19 Big Country team. They also lost Finn Bain as well, and a couple of other players out through injury. Robbie Turnbull got given an opportunity to play for Frankston. Now, Shane Tennant played, but probably shouldn't have played. He was struggling with injury. He had a calf injury. And he shouldn't have been playing.
Was it a good atmosphere down there? Like it
was.
It's a wonderful concept, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And we've got, of course, this week, and you'll hear it live on GameFace, as we were able to broadcast it last week, the big game. We'll talk about it shortly. Of course, the grand final rematch between Pines and also Sorrento. So they've got 2 of them, and we hope it becomes a regular occurrence. We spoke to Mick last week from the Frankston Footy Club Blackers, and we're hoping that it'll become a regular occurrence. I would love it, seeing the development league has gone in the VFL, that they might try and see if every one of the clubs
has one home game.
Has one home game.
And then they've just got to be compensated financially.
Correct.
Don't they split the gate, those 2 clubs?
I think so.
Yeah, both during the year, so that wouldn't have been any different through at Frankston.
Correct. They're very good because they're close friends, the 2 presidents Chris Sharman and also Mick Dunn. How would you guys feel about it, Chris and
playing at Frankston, curtain raiser?
Yeah, it'd be great, wouldn't it, for the competition? I would hope it would happen every week next year. But look, it was a good game of footy. I thought the Bombers were terrific. They were the better team all day.
Good crowd.
It was good. There were a lot of loyal supporters from both Bombers and Mount Eliza, and a few I found out just neutral supporters that went down to have a look. And we had a few inquiries from the Pines, people wanting to know what the crowd would be like because they're looking ahead to this week too. So look, and it helped that the day was a ripper. And there was some fantastic performances. I thought Alex Harnett, you told me Holtz he could play. He certainly can play, and he's best on ground for mine.
Top 3 in the league when he's down and playing, I reckon.
Yeah.
He's just with McDonald and Hallahan.
Yes.
Hallahan, yeah.
I reckon he's that good.
Well, he was the one that got them going early. I'll tell you, I thought before we talk about the debutant, I thought Jared Grant, and I think he gets a bad rap. I thought his game was great. He played as a loose man in defence at times, and then he went forward and took 2 or 3 very clever marks using the body and basically kicked the goals that won them the game when Mount Eliza were coming. And I thought he doesn't get enough credit for how well he played on the weekend.
What about Bowman? Is he any good?
Bowman was okay. It was solid down back. Their defence did a good job. Sam Drake, according to Bo, must have played their best game of the year. But I just thought that Mount Eliza were missing too many key players, and that was the issue. And it helps when Harry Pryor has so many hit-outs as well.
Was he good again?
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
He has a crack, doesn't he, Dan?
He does.
Yes.
He sure does. Now, Levi McLaughlin-Dorr enjoyed a special moment on the weekend on a day that was close to home for him because it was the It's Okay Not to Be Okay game that we promoted on the show last week, and the Bombers set that up through the Hocking family. The girls play down there in the netball team at the Bombers, and their brother unfortunately committed suicide, and so did Levi's brother Zach. So it was a big moment for him to make his debut.
And he kicked a goal, didn't he?
He actually kicked a goal. Let's have a look at this goal, and it just indicated how much it meant to him and the players. He should take the mark and does, and this is the youngster on debut, Levi O'Loughlin-Dorr. And he'll be doing it for Zach and the family today. 40 metres out as part of It's Okay Not to Be Okay game for the Frankston Bombers, who really have driven this charity and driven this message over the years, as unfortunately tragedy has affected that football
get around
club.
Levi if he kicks this one, fellas.
Here they go. They will come from everywhere, Matt. You're right.
Great
this is a big
goal.
moment for the youngster in his first game. He kicks a goal.
Every player's there. How good's that?
And
Every
he'll look
player's
up
there.
to the sky to his late brother Zach. 6-7-43 Frankston. Well done, son. Mount Eliza 3-3-21 on the 7 steps to wealth score. And Jackson Williams, who's on Collingwood's VFL list.
He's
Watch
handy.
out for him.
Very handy.
30 possessions, very good off halfback.
Quick.
Used the footy well, very quick.
Yeah.
Inside or outside, Dan?
He was more outside.
Outside.
That was the difference between the two. I think they were just a bit quicker than Mount Eliza. Mount Eliza missing too many key players, and I think it was all about the depth. So it was a fantastic performance by the Bombers. They're on 4 wins and 5 losses. Along with Mount Eliza, have got a much more superior percentage.
There's a lot of
but they're
sides
right
on
back
that.
in the race. There are. So it's very open competition. We'll be back with more of the GameFace MPNFL Division 1 footy show, thanks to Ambience Catering, after this. Great to have your company on the MPNFL Division 1 footy show. Rosebud, well, haven't they improved over the last month or so? And in the end, boys, probably should have won. They stormed home in the last quarter, 6-1. They'd hit the front, and then Sorrento had levelled scores. And Lee Paholke, who kicked his 500th career goal, kicked the winning behind. They found a way to win, but gee, haven't they improved?
They've
Blackers,
improved
Rosebud.
a lot, Rosebud, and I think they've got a lot of belief in their playing group now. But the one thing about Sorrento is they always find a way to win those close games.
Good sides do. Don't they, Dan?
They certainly do. Is that frustrating, Chris and Lockie? Your team's sort of struggling a bit at the moment in regard to finding a way to win. But this is a team that mightn't be playing that well, but they find a way to win. You'd love to be able to bottle that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's just experience, isn't it? The key players just always confident enough to know they're still in the game no matter what. So, yeah.
And you saw Rosebud firsthand a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we
they're
did.
obviously improving a lot, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're a good side, but they're gettable. Any team in this comp's gettable, as you saw what Rosebud did to Serrano.
Correct.
So it's just a matter of who you get on the day, really. You could get a good Rosebud side, or you could get a not so good.
Well, it's a great competition. I mean, you guys have both played in the old Nepean, but now you're in First Division. I mean, you don't know from one week to the next who's going to win, Chris, do you? I mean, that's the
it's
great
not.
thing about it.
Yeah, if your top team doesn't show up on the day, the bottom team can really give them a red hot crack. So
Yeah.
it's really even.
No doubt about that. Well, a 90-point loss, and we broadcast this game, boys, in round 3. Rosebud have turned it around very quickly. What do you think Nick Jewell's doing down there for the team to turn it around? Because he said in the second half they were just too clean for us, far too good. But after then, they've been really good, probably one of the most impressive teams in the comp.
I think he's gone back to the basics.
Yeah.
Holtz.
Also with the pre-season, I think they had a few new blokes come through.
Yeah.
New coach was always going to take a little bit of time. Plus, he said he was training them hard in that first month flat out, and he did take it off a little bit because he found they were sort of getting a bit flat through games. And since he's done that, they seem to be running on top of the ground. Geez, Shawnee's having a good year, isn't he?
Sean
Dan?
Downey's having a great year, going really, really well. Keegan has
Is he
been
one of your
handy
favourites?
too at times.
He's one of my
Yeah, one of them, Chris Holcomb loves him every time he
Yeah.
talks about him. Look how excited he is, jumped, he's up and about.
Yeah.
Now, we mentioned Lee Paholke, 500 career goals, and Dale Christie from GameFace caught up with the great man who, as we know, loves a camera, loves a microphone,
Doesn't he?
and loves an interview.
Okay, we're back down here at Sorrento Footy Club after a very tight finish in the end with Lee Paholke. How do you describe the last few minutes?
Mayhem. Just they were awesome to come back the way they did, and sort of sucks we get beaten by what we know with Sean Downey and these guys, causing us huge grief. But they were awesome in that last quarter, and we sort of fell on flat legs a little bit. But in the end, 4 goal down, and then get a goal back up was it showed good character, which was good.
Yeah, great. Now to yourself, obviously the bag today, feeling pretty good.
It would have been nice to kick straight, but I think that's 2 weeks in a row now where I've kicked more points than goals. But
So 5-5 you ended up with?
5-5.
Yep.
So maybe if I had to kick straight, the game isn't like that. But that's footy, and I'll have to get out the training track and maybe get some set shots.
So I think this is the 5th week in a row you've got more than 4 in a row. Is that about right?
Yeah, I had something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Yep. So that's contributed to your 500th goal, which you ended up with your 3rd goal today.
Yes, it was nice to get the boys get around me for that second one in the club's history, which is always a nice little individual milestone.
fantastic, yeah.
So the boys knew, and they got around me, which was fantastic.
Yeah, great. So it's personal achievements are always good. You can look back on them, but yeah, obviously the season's halfway through, so you're looking good, looking strong, and yeah, hopefully things continue the way they're going.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed the boys can come back from a few injuries and we can get that full team on the park soon.
Perfect. Thanks for your time, mate, and well done today.
Well, Rosebud, as we said, definitely causing a stir. They're on 4 wins and 5 losses. They probably should have beaten Surrender, but they didn't on the weekend. Their next 3, the Bombers, be 50-50. Dramana at Dramana will be hard because Dramana are very hard to beat there.
Yeah.
And then Bond Beach, and who knows what Bond Beach will turn up.
If they could win 2 out of those 3, I think they'll be very happy and satisfied with that.
I refuse to back the Bombers to any game during the rest of the year.
The Bombers.
We don't know who's going to turn up.
Well, you don't know who if Harney
So-
goes back to Frankston, that'll be a big loss.
Oh, it's
will
a bit
be.
more than that.
They've got to get Northover back. They're hoping to. Obviously, Sam Fox won't be, they don't think. He'll be centering in for the rest
I
of
don't
the
reckon
year.
they'll beat Dramana though. And
Yeah, well, Dramana are going beautifully, aren't they?
yeah, Blakett's probably right. If they win 2 or 3 of those, 2 out of 3, they'll
2
be-
out of
they'll be
3.
very, very happy.
You would be.
Very.
Well, still lots more to talk about. We'll be back after this, thanks to 7 Steps to Wealth. Well, let's have a look at the senior ladder for First Division, brought to you by the Frankston RSL. Remembering there are some teams that have played one more game, and the second half of this round will be played in a few weeks' time. Sorrento on top, just the one loss, 32 points, 150.17. But they are going to lose some key players that won't be part of the big game against Pines this week, who are going overseas.
For how long, Dan?
Well, for most of the second half of the season. They leave this week. James Brigden is one of them, Burns another,
Hey, Blackman.
and Jaden Tompkins, all going
Back to
overseas.
finals?
They could be.
Oh.
And
You
obviously,
never
they're going to be in the finals. But as senior coaches, I know it's suburban footy, I know it's local footy. How do you guys feel about that?
Nothing drives you madder.
It is. It's hard to understand that guys commit to playing football and then they go away.
But then again, it
The
is
young kids.
community footy, isn't it?
No, I realise that, Dan.
But you're paying them at fair wage, Dan. Like they commit and you're paying them to play football. It's like a job. It's not like
It's a commitment.
it's park footy and you just turn up whenever and it's great. You're paying them, dude.
I think it's a commitment that you make at the start of the year.
If you got an opportunity like you go overseas in the American summer and the English summer, well, we don't know how much of the English summer we're getting at the moment. A lot of the World Cup cricket being rained out, but certainly America, it gets very hot over there in July and August. If you got an opportunity to go overseas and your team is in contention to play in the finals, what would you do?
Personally, if I wanted to go overseas, I'd take the year off football.
Yeah.
Because as the boys just said, you're contracted to play football and you get paid to play football.
These blokes would have
Good
known
answer,
that.
Sus.
There are a few players from other clubs doing it. It's not just Sorrento.
No. There's a man, Moncrief.
Corey McCarthy said last week that he's going
There's a
away
man
to
at
America.
YC who's very instrumental that's in Europe at the moment.
Yeah,
5
correct.
weeks.
Kyle
Correct.
Richardson.
Oh, I think you're going to say his name.
What about you, Chris? What's your view on that? Would you
Well, Bakes loves his footy.
go,
He
or
wouldn't
would you,
leave the footy.
or would you wait till the end of the year?
Wait till the end of the year.
Would you? Yeah.
Definitely.
Can go between
Goose doesn't like
September
going
and
away for 1 week.
December.
Doesn't he?
No.
Oh, I could imagine that. He gets stuck into it. He's a scary man, the Goose, I reckon. Now,
Sam, what
Sorrento
do you-
on top on
Oh, yeah,
32.
yeah,
Pines
Yeah,
28.
past Sereno.
We mentioned Sorrento. Dramana on 24, an opportunity to join Pines, of course, have got that big game this week. If they lose to Sorrento and Dramana win, well, they'll go to 28 and they're looking brilliant. And then there's a big gap to a number of teams on 16, all fighting probably for the last 2 spots in the top 5. YCW, Mount Eliza, Bond Beach, Rosebud and Bombers. And then a 3-game break to the 2 teams at this stage trying to avoid the relegation, Edith Vale, Aspendale and Mornington. Of those teams who are on 4 and 5 or 4 and 4, because a couple of them, as I mentioned, have got games in hand.
Yeah.
Who's going to make the top 5, boys?
Rosebud and Bomb Beach.
I think, Rosebud have been in really
YC,
good.
pretty confident.
YC gone.
I think,
Mount Eliza.
I think Rosebud and YC.
YC, you reckon?
I think YC.
YC, as Kev said to me, Kev Lilac around him before the game of the weekend, he said, we were kicking goals at the start of the year, but the last month, finding it hard to kick a goal. So he reckons if they can kick a goal, they'll be all right. They've kicked 25 in their past 4 after kicking almost 50 in their first 4.
How many games got you into the finals last year?
10.
I reckon 9 games would get you.
And a good
Tony,
percentage.
What about the boys? Can they quickly have a little? Who do you reckon will fill those last 2 spots? YC, Mount Eliza, Bombeach, Rosebud, or Frankston Bombers?
I'll go YC Rosebud.
Ooh.
Yes, I'm with Bags.
Everyone likes Rosebud at the moment, don't
Definitely
they?
not Mount Eliza.
Ooh, definitely not. Ooh, there's hatred there.
Bomb Beach will fail a big test, but there's YCW and Bomb Beach this week, one of the matches of the day for, we've got a couple
Bomb
on
Beach
this weekend for GameFace.
Haven't
Forward
been
to
able
it.
to take a big skull.
Now the goal kicking, Leaper Holke, what do you think he'll win it? He's kicked 44 for the season, 5 on the weekend. Jackson Cordy, your teammate, he's going pretty well, boys, isn't he?
He's having a
Mornington.
cracking year, isn't he?
Yeah, he's having a red hot tip.
What I would say, and this is controversial, if Jacko was playing at Sereno at the moment, he would have been kicked more than 44 goals.
Oh, 100%.
He's kicking 4 a game in losing sides that aren't losing by a little bit, they're losing by a lot. He's having a great
Why
year.
is he going so well, Lockie, you think?
To be honest, I think it's just his accuracy.
Yeah.
And he's got a steady missus now.
Yep.
Yeah, he's tied down, so he's not going out every
And
weekend.
he stops going to see bakes his mum in the tuck shop before the games, eats his little potato cakes.
So he's concentrating on the game at hand and she's got him under control as she at home. What's her name?
Hey,
Charlotte.
Charlotte. Good on you, Charlotte. Good to see Jackson playing great footy. Now, Trent Dennis Lane on 21 goals and Ethan Johnson on 17 from
What about your little mate Sam
Sammy?
Yeah,
Fowler?
and Sammy's going beautifully
You
too.
forgot
He's,
about
he's
him.
having a very good year, Sammy, isn't
The
he?
rat.
Yeah, the rat. I love him. He's and look, we know how well Dramana are playing. They're going beautifully. Now, the tips brought to you by Garley
there you go.
Trophies, one of our favourite sponsors. And this is another interesting round of football in First Division. And looking forward to seeing how it goes. It's a big test for Mornington at home. Can they have their second win of the season, do you think?
What do you reckon, boys? We haven't played Dramana yet this year. You know much about them?
Not really. I know they got the really good small forwards.
Yep.
So stop them and I think have a dip.
Yep.
If we play that like you said, 4 quarters of footy, show up for around first quarter, and continue on, we'll have a crack.
That's it, the consistency through. If you put that first quarter on the
Yeah.
park over 4, you can beat anyone.
Their ground, Chris, is very similar to Dramana,
Very,
isn't it?
yeah, very small.
So
Very
does that help Dramana because of how good they are at home?
Oh,
On that
probably.
smaller
Let's-
ground?
Let's say yes, Dan. Let's say yes.
What do you think, Blackers?
Yeah, I agree. I think Dramana have been outstanding down there first half of the year. I hope for the Mornington that they finish off the year really strongly and this is the start of it, Dan.
We've got to pass players too on the day and President's Luncheon at
You
Mornington.
going?
I'm hosting.
You're hosting, eh?
I'm hosting, so
Oh.
Really?
On Media Street, the big fella. He's on
I'm
fire.
trying to take your job,
Yeah,
mate.
you are. Yeah, good on
Not
you.
far
Thanks
off.
for that. You're
Not
not far
far
away
off.
at all. You're doing much better than me.
Not
Now, our match of the day on Saturday is Bomb Beach and YCW, 6th against 4th. Big test for Bomb Beach. They just have failed all their tests. Blackers, teams above them. Can they win?
Yeah, they can win, Dan, but they've got to bring something better to the table than what they've been able to do against. And I watched them against Pines, and obviously they haven't. You know, the last time they played at home, they got belted by Sorrento.
Big milestone games, 250 for Shane McDonald, 200 for their captain Jackson Casey. I mean, sometimes milestone games work, sometimes they don't, but you think they'd be pumped up to do well, but it's also the incentive of trying to get back in the top 5. There's lots on the line, Chris, for them.
You know how big a YC fan I am, Dan.
Yeah, I know.
They're gone.
You've said that
Yeah,
for
they're
a few
gone.
weeks, haven't you?
Yeah, they can't kick a goal. They're still all right through the back. The midfield's struggling
Yeah.
a little bit. They're down on numbers. But
Is Ongarello back
They
yet?
can't hit the board. Oh, he will be. They had the week off. He
Yeah.
wasn't anything major.
He's
But
very important.
Bomb Beach will win that one. What do you reckon, boys?
Yeah, I think Bomb Beach. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I reckon Bombeach's pretty hard to beat at home.
Yep.
Last couple
They
of
are.
times we've played them.
Ground.
so-
It's garbage.
I'd say Bomb Beach 2, Macca's 250.
What
He's been a
about?
great servant of that club.
He certainly has. Great player. Bombers and Rosebud, 8th against 7th. Now the Bombers can jump ahead of Rosebud and almost get themselves into the top 5 if results go their way. The percentage is not great, but as I said, I thought they were very good on the weekend.
Rosebud can beat. They're the form side at the moment. And Frankston are up and down like
They are.
like you on Tinder. So I reckon at the moment, Rosebud.
You cleaned that up a bit, didn't you?
I did.
There's another line for that, but
There
we'll leave
is.
that alone.
I think everyone knows out there.
Yeah, we do. I think we do. Thank you.
Bombers' form, apart from when they dropped the game against Mornington, has been quite good.
Yeah.
And,
I'm not
and,
backing them, mate.
and at home, they're always hard to beat.
Yeah, I think the Bombers at home.
I think Bombers at home.
Boys?
Not backing them.
Rosebud.
Yeah, I reckon Rosebud, they're in some pretty hot form right now.
Yeah, they're playing pretty well. No doubt about that. Should be a close game, but I think the Bombers can do it. Now, Mount Eliza and Edie Asp. They've still got their coach Graham Yates, Edie Asp. Mount Eliza 4th on the table. Whether they get all their players back, obviously they'll get Small back, I think. They'll get Finn Bain back.
No
Robert
Tennant?
Turnbull.
No Tennant?
Oh, I don't think he'll play.
No.
So that'll make it a bit tough for them. But Edie Asp, their last quarters, just hopefully the bye, they've managed to find a way to finish out games, which has been their issue, Blackers.
I think it'll be a close game, but I think the leg speed and the youth of Mount Eliza on their home ground will get them up.
Well, it is a big ground, isn't it?
Over the line.
He's wise, Tony. How can you argue with him on that? Well done, Tony. Yeah,
What is that big ground? What's it like? Is it tough to play?
Middle's have played very, very well. And that's why I think they've been solid for so many years right now, because they play their ground very well.
What do you reckon, Chris?
Yeah, I'll be back in Mount Eliza for that one.
I think so. It's a massive game. Obviously, you guys need Edie Asp to win and hope you can win so you can jump ahead of them in the battle for relegation. Hawks?
Mount Eliza.
Yeah. And then the big one on Sunday, boys. Can't wait.
Roll, Russ.
Pines and Sorrento. Sorrento got a few out, as we mentioned. Pines hoping you get a few back. They're hoping Chewy will return. It would be a miraculous recovery. They think Nahas will be right. Yep. So, look, I think Pines can win. Can't wait, though. It'll be a ripper. Hopefully we get a good day like we did last week.
Bongo's fitter than I've seen him in about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I thought he played really well against Romano in that
Aaron's
first half.
still a step off the pace at the moment, but can do anything. And Nahas, he needs to play more footy with Pines to be effective.
And Jack Fisher's had a couple of runs now. The first week he was a bit fumbly.
Yeah, he'll be right. He's a good player. He'll be right. But I think in this current form, I'll go Pines.
Yeah, I'm going Pines.
Yeah. Pines for me.
Chris?
Pines.
Yeah, Pines for me.
Gee, we're all going for Pines and Sorrento. We'll hate that.
Well, thanks, guys,
thank you, boys.
Oh,
yeah. No, you can do that. You can close it.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was just practicing for next week.
Practice for your day on Saturday, mate.
Yeah, okay. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us tonight on the Division 1 Footy Show. How'd that go down? Was that all right?
That was perfect.
Thank you. All right, you can take over now.
Chris Baker and Lockie joining us from the Mornington Footy Club. Good luck for the rest of the season, boys. Good luck in your recovery from your knee, Chris. And I hope that Goose doesn't get angry with you when you're doing a whiteboard for him in the seniors, because we know the big man can fire up. Thank you, Blackers. Thank you, Hulks. Enjoy the footy on the weekend. Double header for GameFace. Saturday we've got the game at Bond Beach as Bond Beach hosts YCW, 2 out of 4 teams. And on Sunday, if we get a game like we did in the grand final last year, it'll be a ball burster. It is, of course, the curtain raiser at Frankston Park before the VFL involving Frankston and North Melbourne between Pines and Sorrento. Enjoy your footy. Get your GameFace on.